Welcome to the N1 Fitness Podcast. I'm your host as always, Marcus Sadu, and today I'm going to be outlining the 5-step framework I've implemented to lose 50 pounds and more importantly, keep it off for over 10 years now. This is what I personally use to this day actually, and it's also how I coach my clients with their goals. So I thought it would be helpful to share it with you guys too. Now, before we dig into the specifics, if you're interested in personalized one-on-one nutritional coaching or workout programming, you can check out the website at n1fitness.com/coaching to book a consultation with me to see if we're the right fit for one another. Now, on to our topic for today. First of all, I think it's super important to note that we don't have a weight loss or a fat loss problem in our society at the moment. And I'm aware that that may sound kind of crazy, but millions of folks lose weight every single year, but they put it back on. So what we actually have is a fat loss or weight loss maintenance problem, or a sustained fat loss or weight loss problem over the long term. So the weight loss research shows that 33 to 66% of people regain their lost weight within a year. And I know that's a big range, but let's say we'll split the difference and say 50% of people regain their lost weight within a year. That is crazy. That's legit like flipping a coin, so not great odds. What's even more staggering is that 95% of people regain their lost weight within 5 years. So these digits may sound a little bit doom and gloom. However, I think it's just more of a reflection of the fact that the vast majority of folks aren't using sustainable methods because, for example, the people who fit within the 50% of people that regain their lost weight within a year category include straight up bullshit quick fix methods like cleanses, detox diets, weight loss pills, etc. So this leads into priority number 1 when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. You want to choose a sustainable approach. Like I mentioned before, things like juice cleanses and detox diets are not supported by the science, and they're literally like a week in length. So by definition, they're unsustainable. So what most folks do is pay a whole bunch of money for some company to make them these overpriced juices that have fancy names like the Energizer, like Detox Tonic or some shit. And then after they do this 3, 5, 7-day cleanse, they just go back to exactly what they were doing before. Now, an approach like this doesn't teach you anything about implementing a sustainable eating strategy into your lifestyle. Now, some folks might say, hey, well, what about using a cleanse like a quote-unquote kickstart to your fat loss diet? But that's like saying I want to get as good as I can at football as fast as possible, so I'm going to start my training by playing a bunch of basketball. That makes no sense. Why not just start from the get-go with football? That's the game you want to be playing long term, so don't waste your time with a different sport. So the primary question to ask yourself when putting together an approach or thinking about an approach that's going to be right for you is, can I see myself doing this in a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years plus down the road? If the answer to that question before you even start is a definitive no, like in the case of the cleanse or a self-proclaimed detox diet, for example, then you need to modify your approach. You're not going to live off juices for the rest of your life. At some point, you're going to want to choose something. Now, I will say that if all you want to do is lose a few pounds really quickly for a 7-day beach vacay in Mexico or something like that, then by all means do whatever you want. But you're listening to this podcast and not some promised quick fix, get your dream body in 2 weeks podcast. So you're likely not going to fall into that category. You want something sustainable and lifestyle oriented because that's what I push. So this whole fat loss and weight loss thing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can get results super quickly when you do the right things, for sure. My clients get fast results, as I'm sure you've seen on my transformation page of my website. However, sacrificing super speedy results for something that's not maintainable long-term is just going to get you into trouble. So first and foremost, I implemented something sustainable that I've been able to stick to long-term. It's been over 10 years. A quick fix is not going to yield results for a decade. But a solid and maintainable lifestyle approach absolutely will. And actually, it'll yield results for a lifetime. Number 2 is to allow wiggle room. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. In every situation, there are good, better, and best choices you can make, but it's just not realistic to expect perfection out of yourself. I don't eat perfectly. I don't know anyone who does. So instead of trying to be perfect, set up some sort of framework for yourself that keeps you on track and aligns with your goals. So this could look a ton of different ways, but for example, you can set a home cooked meal goal for yourself each week. So let's say you eat 3 meals per day, so 21 meals per week, and you want 16 or 17 of those to be home cooked meals. Or maybe you like to eat quite a bit less during the week, so say Monday through Friday. So you have a lot more freedom with your food choices over the weekend. And as long as you keep your total calories in check, that can work for you. Now, alcohol is something that can absolutely have a place in your fat loss diet. And if you enjoy drinking, I would actually not recommend cutting it out completely because similar to the cleanse example, that won't give you experience around how to implement alcohol into your lifestyle while balancing your nutrition with it. Now, you obviously can't drink tons of booze and get the results that you're after, but alcohol is a big part of our culture. And personally, I fucking love beer. So I work it into my lifestyle. I make it work. So wiggle room is important. Choose the approach that works the best with your priorities, social tendencies, work schedule, etc. And your results will let you know if you can afford to loosen things up some or if you need to reel things in at all. Number 3 is implementing the traffic light system. So this answers the question of how much wiggle room. I put this up as an Instagram post not long ago, so if you'd like to check out the visual I posted, it was on July 8th, 2019, so you can check that out. We've got a green light, yellow light, and a red light in regards to your weight. So let's say you're really happy with your weight at 160 pounds. I'm just throwing that number out there. A green light would be plus or minus 2 pounds of that digit. So anywhere between 158 and 162 means we're right on track. Just keep doing what you're doing. A yellow light would be plus 3 to 5 pounds. So anything in that range of 163 to 165 would mean we might want to take a look at our habits, potentially reel things in before it gets to a point where it's more difficult than it needs to be. But you're still in that yellow light range. Now the red light would be plus 6 pounds or more, so 166 pounds or over. That means stop what you're doing because things are starting to slip too much, so let's recalibrate, get back on track and closer to that green light weight range. Now some folks like to weigh themselves daily, other folks like to weigh themselves on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. In my opinion, the scale is an awesome tool. I know some fitness professionals don't like it, but I think it's a useful tool just like progress pictures are or measurements are or whatever. You can use your clothes. There are tons of different tools and they are just that, a tool. So it's useful. They're not the be all end all. Now, 2 caveats to keep in mind here around the traffic light system. The first being specifically for women and your weight around your monthly cycle. Don't read too much into weight fluctuations around your cycle because they are very misleading due to water weight retention, and ladies can easily fluctuate, 3 to 5 pounds, no prob around their cycle. So just use your weight the other 3 weeks of the month if you find that that time of the month messes with your head a little bit. Secondly, the heavier you are, the bigger your green, yellow, and red light ranges are going to be. Meaning, someone who is stoked with their weight at 200 pounds is going to want to use a larger range than plus or minus 2 pounds, for example, in their green light situation. They might use a 5-pound swing in their green light situation because the bigger you are, the larger your daily fluctuations or weekly fluctuations are going to be. So this system is relative to your total body size. So 5 pounds to somebody who's 150 pounds is a lot different than 5 pounds to somebody who is 200 pounds or 250 pounds. So just keep that in mind. Number 4 is have a short memory. So let's say you get into the red light zone. There's no need to beat yourself up over it. It's spilled milk at this point. So just get back on track. Focus on that. You're literally only ever 1 meal away from moving closer to your goal. It's 1 meal. That's it. So don't waste your time cursing yourself out. Just take action right away. One big difference between my clients that get good results and great results is the ones who get great results that slip up get back on track the fastest. So it's really not all about never getting off track. It's about how fast you course correct. That's the most important thing, because remember, no one is perfect. So it's not a matter of if you slip up, it's when. So don't dwell, just hop back on the horse and get moving in the right direction. Number 5 is stay in touch with your why. So staying aware of why you're prioritizing the way that you eat, move, and sleep is really important. For myself, eating, moving, and sleeping in a way that has me feel my best equates to me getting more out of my life. That's just the way that I see it. My relationships are better, my mood is improved, my sense of well-being on a daily basis is great. I'm more content with how I'm looking, feeling, and performing as a whole, and I'm just like a more content human in general. So I don't know anybody who's a better version of themselves when they're eating poorly, not moving enough, and sleeping inadequately. And I don't think anybody would really disagree with that statement. Stay in touch with your why, and maybe even write it down on a little sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror, or put a visual reminder of it on the home screen of your phone, whatever works. This is going to help you stay on track when things get potentially a little bit tougher, or you're having a rough day or a rough week or a rough month. We all have them. So basically, keeping the reason why you're doing what you're doing really clear will just make the actions necessary to achieve that thing a whole lot easier. So just to recap, first one is choose a sustainable approach. It's so much easier to do things right the first time. I know folks who have literally been trying to lose weight for decades. Maintainability is a must. Number 2 is to allow wiggle room. So no one is perfect. No one ever has been, no one ever will be. So give yourself some leeway, and that'll only support the long-term sustainability of things as well. Number 3 is the traffic light system. So if you really honor this green, yellow, and red light thing, you will maintain your results. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Number 4 is have a short memory. So if you do let things slip a little too far, don't sweat it. Just get back on track. We're only ever one meal away from doing so. Number 5 is your why. So the stronger your why is, the easier this whole nutrition and lifestyle thing is going to be, because your why ties in closely with discipline. Not motivation, because motivation is fleeting, but discipline is the backbone to creating habits. And once you create a habit, you're laughing, because at that point it just becomes easy. Brushing your teeth before bed isn't hard because you just do it. Now, let's be honest, you might miss the odd night if you've had a few too many wobbly pops or something like that, but it really doesn't require a whole lot of effort to brush your teeth on a nightly basis because it's fully habitual. So those are the 5 steps I've put and kept in place over the last 10 years to keep myself on track and looking, feeling, and performing my best. And you can use that outline for yourself as a blueprint for success as well. Now, like I mentioned at the outset of the show, if you're interested in personalized one-on-one nutritional coaching or workout programming, you can check out the website at n1fitness.com/coaching, which is linked below. And you can also follow me on Instagram at n1fitness and friend me up at Marcus Sadu on Facebook as well. I hope you found that useful. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and I will catch you on the next episode. See ya.